Hello and welcome to another short recorded class for October. Welcome, I hope you enjoy today's class. It will go for approximately 25 to 30 minutes and we will be looking at another news story with some topical issues that I thought you might find interesting. Now, first of all, I'm just going to share my screen and let's get started. Okay, so today's story is a bit weird and wonderful, but very interesting, I hope you will find. Okay, basically it's the story of this lady, Abby Bella is her name, and this is a photo of her here. She's very glamorous looking, and she lives in London, and she has claimed to have been abducted by aliens and fallen in love with one of them. Okay, whether you believe her claims or not, it will still be interesting to go through and read her story, I believe. Okay, now let's have a look at the headline to start. Okay, so we know that she is a London actress and she's also a YouTuber. Excuse me. Now, I just wanted to highlight YouTuber because I think this is an interesting example of the way in English that we make job names. So, for example, there are different suffixes that we can use to create job names, okay? And for example, we can either add ER or IST to the end of a verb or a noun to make a job title. Now, these are not the only ways that we can make job titles, but these are two that are quite common. Okay, so YouTube, when we talk about YouTube, we talk about someone who uploads, produces, or appears in videos on the video sharing website YouTube. Okay, and we're talking about someone, not someone that has only uploaded one video. Okay, so we might do that for work purposes, but we would not consider ourselves to be YouTubers. The idea here is more that it is an occupation. Okay, so someone whose main platform is YouTube and they try to make a living from posting content on YouTube. Okay, so it's these days it's a profession and something that a lot of children want to become when they grow up. Okay, so someone who posts or uploads videos to YouTube is therefore a YouTuber. Okay, so for example, we can say we've been seeing top YouTubers get TV deals over the last couple of years. Okay, and top YouTubers can earn millions of dollars. Okay, so why do we, when we come back to how we make job names by adding ER or IST, why do we use ER in some cases and IST in others? Generally, we could say that we tend to use ER for unskilled or semi-skilled jobs. For example, we could say a plumber, carpenter, teacher, social worker, painter, YouTuber, Instagrammer, someone who posts on Instagram as their job, influencer also falls in that category. Now you can see that of these jobs that I've mentioned, that they're not all unskilled or semi-skilled. For example, a teacher, I would argue, is not unskilled, or a social worker. So there are exceptions to the rule. But then when we look at job names using IST, we can see things like chemist, pharmacist, dentist, receptionist. Okay, so you could argue that a receptionist is really only a semi-skilled job. So obviously there are exceptions to both of these rules. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have a YouTuber, and she claims, we don't know if it's true or not, it's just a claim, that she has been abducted by aliens and fallen in love with one. So what does it mean to be abducted? Well, when we talk about being abducted, probably the first word that you would think of is kidnapped. Okay, so to be taken by someone, to take someone away illegally by force or deception. So you trick someone into coming with you and you kidnap them, or you force them to go away. Okay, so our example sentence here is the millionaire who disappeared may have been abducted, may have been kidnapped. Okay, so she claims that she was abducted by who? By aliens. Okay, so why has she gone on the news apart from publicity? She says that she is sick of men on Earth and she hopes to normalize interspecies dating. Okay, so they've put the quotes around normalize to emphasize or put stress on this word, okay, because it's, I think because it's such an unusual situation that this is quite an unusual situation that you would want to make normal, okay? Because when we talk about normalizing something, we're talking about making something seem normal, bring something to a normal condition, a normal state, okay? Or it might be, for example, it might be something that we might think was strange, and then an attitude that's maybe old-fashioned, and we want to change. So we want to normalize a new behavior. So for example, we could say in the past we thought that dating aliens was strange, but we hope to, in the future, normalize dating aliens. Okay, so we want to make it so normal that no one thinks it's strange anymore. Okay. Another example might be wearing masks. Say for foreigners, before COVID, they found wearing masks very strange and unusual. But now, after COVID, mask wearing has been normalized in the West. Okay. And she's talking about normalizing what? Interspecies dating. Okay, interspecies just means inter, meaning between. So something between species, okay? So dating between different species. So species could be humans and aliens, humans and animals, humans and whatever species, plants even. I don't know. Okay, so here's our lovely lady Abby. Okay, and that's her discussing her extraterrestrial encounter on her YouTube channel. Okay, so she has her own channel where she is discussing this encounter or meeting. So what does extraterrestrial mean? Well, we know terrestrial, terra, comes from a word to mean the earth, okay? Extraterrestrial means outside of, okay? So outside of the earth, something that's not of this earth. So anything that's not of this earth is extraterrestrial. Okay, so we might also say, we could use the words, if someone, for example, if we're talking about a noun, he is an extraterrestrial or alien, okay? We also used to quite often call people like shortened word ET, ET for extraterrestrial. In the old days, we used to say a Martian, okay, because someone from Mars, okay? Someone from outer space, and sometimes in slang we might say little green man, okay, meaning someone from outer space. So these are all different ways to talk about someone who is an alien, okay? Or we can use it, oh, what's that? I have no idea. Go away. Okay. Or as an adjective, okay? So, okay. Okay, so as an adjective, we're talking about an extraterrestrial encounter, okay, because it's a meeting with someone from outside of the Earth. Okay, so to find her soulmate, this actress looked to the skies. She claims that she fell for an alien after it swept her into its UFO and right off her feet. Okay, so we've got some nice romantic language here, okay? She claims that she fell for an alien. When we talk about falling for somebody, we mean falling in love, okay? To find your soulmate is somebody that you feel is ideally suited to you as a romantic partner. Someone that you really get along with, you feel a very, very close connection to. Okay, you might say, my husband is my perfect soulmate. Okay. And then it's talking about sweeping her right off her feet. Okay, so if someone sweeps you off your feet, that means that you make someone become very attracted to you in a romantic way. Okay, so it's saying, my husband, the first time I met him, he swept me off my feet. Okay, usually means that someone is very, very romantic. They might do something that's really romantic that makes you feel that you fall in love with them instantly and become very attracted to them in a very romantic way. Okay, so our example sentence here is, she says that he swept her off her feet and they were married 6 months later. Okay, so she's talking about falling in love with an alien and doing it very, very quickly. Okay, so the next paragraph, she says, bored by the pandemic and unimpressed, not happy, with the offerings on Earth, Bella explained she joked online about wanting an alien to abduct or kidnap me. Before long, she began to have dreams of a white light, and then she heard a voice in her dream. It commanded her to wait in the usual spot. She'd never heard the voice before, but she knew what it meant. Okay. She was sitting by her open window the next evening, and then suddenly a flying saucer swept into view. Okay, so flying saucer is just another word for, as we can see here, a spaceship. There are various words we can use to describe a flying saucer. Spaceship, spacecraft, space vessel, or we can say UFO. Do we know what that stands for? Unidentified flying object, okay? Or we could also say extraterrestrial vessel or extraterrestrial craft, okay? Generally, people will just say UFO, okay? Why do we say flying saucer? Just because it's a good description of what these things tend to look like in the sky. People that have taken photos or have images or descriptions of objects in the sky tend to describe them as a round shape, and quite flat, like a saucer. Okay, so she gets transported to the UFO, the unidentified flying object. And we call it unidentified because actually we don't know specifically what they are. We assume that they are alien spaceships, but really we don't know. Okay, so most might be alarmed by such a turn of events, but not Bella. Okay, so what is a turn of events? We use this phrase turn of events when we talk about a change in what's happening. So for example, if I come across a situation that is suddenly changing, then I would say, oh, well, this is a new turn of events, okay? I hadn't expected that to happen, but it has, okay? So, for example, I would say when I was given the promotion in my job, that was a new turn of events for me. I wasn't expecting to get a promotion, but my work situation changed, okay? And usually we use turn of events when we're talking about something that's quite dramatic, something that's maybe a bit exciting or unusual, okay? Okay, so obviously this is a turn of events because it's a situation where she's being transported up to, or taken up to a UFO. Okay. Soon she found herself where very few humans have ever gone before, into the belly of a flying saucer. So why do we use belly? Probably because a saucer has a concave or a kind of rounded shape to it. So we could say that looks like a belly. So she goes up into the belly of the saucer and she encountered 5 aliens. Okay. Now, just to get to the next page, there's a lovely photo of her with a fake alien. Bella says that she couldn't make out their true forms. Now, when we use forms here, there are 2 different ways in which we can use form. We can talk about the visible shape of something. So we can talk about the form of the alien, like what kind of shape it is. If we're talking about a person, they can say, well, she has a very slim form. Okay, that means she is very slim. Okay, because that is the shape of that person. Okay, but you can also use it in the way of a particular way in which a thing exists or appears. Okay, so when we talk about someone appearing in human form, so we could say that this person was maybe magical. So they were in one form, maybe an animal form, and they can change themselves into human form and then back to animal form. Okay. Now, Bella says, I couldn't see them clearly, and they telepathically said, I'm not ready to see them in their true form, okay, the way that they exist. Now, she's talking about telepathy, okay? So telepathy is when we can communicate with someone by not speaking, but by using our other senses, our extrasensory perception. Okay, so telepathy we can describe as, we can say telepathy or we can say ESP. And ESP stands for extrasensory perception. Okay, so that means we're not using spoken words to communicate, we're using our thoughts or ideas. Okay, so we can read each other's minds. Okay, so another word for telepathy is mind reading. Okay, so there's no need to speak, you can read someone's mind. Okay, so she doesn't speak to the aliens, but she can read their minds and they can read her minds and they can communicate that way. Okay, so she communicates with these fellows telepathically, and she says, but from what I could see, they had a slight green hue. Hue here means color, okay? And so they're slightly green and they have big black eyes, much like this little blow-up alien that she's posing in the picture with. Okay. Okay, so in a sketch Bella drew for this newspaper, she said they had round faces, a snake-like gaze or look, and big eyes with irises. Okay, so she wasn't frightened. On the contrary, she was love-struck. Okay, so to be love-struck means to be feeling intense feelings of love for somebody. So if you're infatuated, if you're besotted with someone, you are love struck with love. Okay. And then she says, there was one who connected with me. When you're talking in this kind of romantic situation, connecting with someone means that you feel a deep connection or feeling of deep understanding with somebody, some kind of, they're talking a romantic connection, okay, feeling like someone is your soulmate or you really understand them, okay. And then the next paragraph says, the star-crossed lovers faced a few hurdles. Star-crossed is an interesting word. It should actually have it should have a dash there. Yes, there we go. Okay, so when we talk about two lovers being star-crossed, it means that their relationship is doomed to fail. So their relationship will not be successful because of the stars. Okay, so this is a very old word actually. It was used by William Shakespeare to describe Romeo and Juliet. Okay, because in the past we believed that the stars controlled human life, human destiny. So lovers that were not able to be together, people thought the reason was possibly because of in the stars who controlled them didn't agree that these people should be together. Okay, so these lovers are star-crossed because there is a taboo against aliens and humans going out together or dating. Okay, so that's why the lovers are star-crossed. They will be unable to have a relationship. Okay, so next one. Okay, so sadly, Bella left the UFO after just 20 minutes. And back on Earth, she bemoaned the gaping differences between aliens and Earthmen. To bemoan something is, if you're moaning about something, means you're not happy, or you're sad, or you're discontent with something. So to bemoan is to express your sorrow, express your unhappiness, or your discontent with something. Okay, so she's not happy because of the differences between aliens and people on Earth. Okay, and not just differences, but gaping differences. So this means to have a big difference between aliens and Earthmen. Okay. So she's not happy about that. And she says that is because men on Earth just tell lies and have double standards. Okay, so a double standard, what is that? That is a rule or a principle that's unfairly applied in different ways to different people or groups. Okay, so a double standard, for example, might be a man who says, well, I think women should be able to drive, but not my wife. Okay, so his rule is that, yes, women can drive, but he doesn't want his wife driving. So his double standard is towards his wife because he has a different rule for her, which is unfair. Okay, and then just quickly in the next paragraph, Bella notes, some might be squeamish about earthling-alien relationships. When we talk about being squeamish, we're talking about being disgusted by something or feeling sick because of something. So we can talk about some people are squeamish about blood, seeing blood. Some people are squeamish about bugs or cockroaches. There are many different things you could be squeamish about. Some people are squeamish about needles and getting injections, okay? And then finally, in the last paragraph, this is the last paragraph? I think that's all we're going to get time to do in this time. In this paragraph here, although many have raised an eyebrow at Bella's story, she's hardly alone. Okay, so why would we raise an eyebrow? Well, obviously Bella's story is completely crazy and highly unusual, can we say? If we raise an eyebrow, this is something that makes you show surprise or kind of disapproval. If you raise an eyebrow, means that you're not just surprised, but you may be not too sure about something. You don't really agree, or you're a bit suspicious about it. Okay, so if someone raises an eyebrow, that means that people may be a bit disapproving. Okay, so obviously a lot of people might think that Bella's story is just too fantastic to be believed. Okay, and that's why they're raising their eyebrows. They're a bit skeptical or suspicious of it. Okay, now there is some more information here. Oh, sorry, this is just the final page, so I think I'll just go through it quickly. Okay, now it talks about a government report being published, and that this report examines a number of encounters with UFOs, unidentified flying objects, but that these objects still mystify scientists and the military. So mystifying just means to confuse someone, to puzzle someone, or to perplex, okay? And then in the final paragraph, it says, Bella hopes that her alien suitor, or boyfriend, will brave the risk and visit one day. So brave the risk, you're talking about being brave and take risks in order to do something. Okay, until that day, she keeps her overnight bag by the window. Okay, so here I just highlighted this because when we talk about having an overnight bag, it's literally just talking about a bag that we pack with things needed for an overnight stay. Okay, so it's a small bag that you don't need to put too many things in. So you might hear people use this when they say, if you're traveling light, not taking too much luggage, someone might say, oh no, I'm just taking an overnight bag, just a small bag with a few things. I don't want to take too much luggage. Okay, and so that is the end of our fantastical story. Here you can just see quickly that's a unidentified flying object, a photo that's been taken. You can see how it kind of resembles an upside down saucer. Okay, so whether you believe the story or not, it's still quite an interesting tale with some interesting vocab. And that brings us to the end of this short recorded class for October. I hope you've enjoyed it, and it's brought up some interesting vocabulary and discussion. So I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.